you've clicked on this video now, it's because you want to experience more love within yourself, and not the sort that you may have experienced or may continue to experience through partners or friends or work or hobbies. You probably have this kind of inkling that there's more to life, there's something beyond it, and maybe you've had moments of experiencing that, maybe you know it's there and you just want the tools or practices or understanding to be able to tap into that well of love with it, which exists within every single one of us, by the way. And so in today's video, in a very quick and concise way, I'm going to break down exactly what gets in the way of us experiencing this love and what we can do to overcome it. What are the steps we can take to start to experience more of this love that is our very nature? We are one with the divine, so it's our birthright to experience more of the divine's love. And I want to help you with that today. This is something that I've experienced more and more and more over the many years that I've been practicing meditation and walking this path now. And many times I'm reduced to tears with the amount of love that I feel in me. And like I say, I want to get this out there and help you as much as I can. So one of the biggest problems is that our love is spread all over the place at the minute. There's no room for us to love the divine. We're not actually allowing space for the divine within us. If you imagine like this is our heart, this is ultimately our focus. Within that, we've got things like work. I mean, it will vary for everyone, obviously. Partners. Some of these things might be healthy. Some of these things might be unhealthy. So that is a bottle, but oh my God. That's supposed to be a bottle, I promise. Alcohol, it might be exercise. I mean, I'll tell you a story is that when I first got to the point where things started to really change for me was actually it came about through an injury. I was head deep in training for triathlon. I was very occupied with triathlon and it was my whole world. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And what happened was the universe placed some very specific karma at a very specific time and I got injured and I couldn't race anymore. And so what I had to start doing was diverting my attention away from this sort of stuff that for me was the cycling, the running, the swimming, which I couldn't do. And it opened a door. It opened a door within me which said, why don't I contemplate the things that I'm well aware of? Because I was very aware of the divine, but I wasn't giving the divine any time or attention mentally. So really the crux of what I'm trying to teach today is that all of us have this capacity and ability to tap the well of love, which is the divine that exists within us. But if you're not tapping into that well, it's because you're occupying your attention, your love, with things generally that are related to the world. So it could be your work, it could be hobbies, it could be partners, it could be anything. And so what I would encourage you to do is a bit of self-auditing and have a look at your time, have a look at what you're spending your time thinking about, because our mind is occupied with what we literally think about, what our attention is placed on. And if it's placed on all of these things, there's no room for the divine. And it's really the reason that Mother Meera, her catchphrase is, remember the divine. But remember the divine, that's her catchphrase. And it's so simple. If you can start to look at your desires, look at what's occupying your attention throughout the day, as best as you can start to reduce it. But the key thing is, I would say, is that rather than changing habits, rather than stopping habits, it's easier to change habits. So if, for example, you spend your evenings scrolling on YouTube, then replace that habit for something that is more conducive to the divine. It's more aligned to the divine. So it might be that you, as a starting point, sit down for 10 minutes and contemplate. You literally just sit in silence. If you've got if you've not got kids running around and you've got that opportunity, turn the TV off, put your phone away, sit in silence. Who am I? Who am I? I think I'm this body. I think I'm this name. I think I'm a son, a daughter, a father, a husband, a wife. But who actually am I? Those things are labels. Like these things down here, these are all temporary. They feel very, very permanent. Hobbies, friends, family, they feel very permanent, but it's a bit of a sad truth. They're all temporary. And all of these labels, all of these attachments that we place on ourselves are also all temporary. So who am I? And you start to contemplate. And that kind of inquiry, that self-inquiry, that contemplation is how we start to remember the divine. It's how we start to replace some of our thinking with something of a higher level. You know, if you imagine that this page was divided into two halves, this is kind of lower thinking. This is worldly thinking. It keeps us actually on this wheel of birth and rebirth. But if we start thinking from a higher perspective, which means we fill our day with, and it doesn't need to be like constant to begin with, it's just little moments here and there of prayer, of contemplation, you know, self-inquiry. Who am I, as I was saying? Of course, meditation is a big one. And another thing that's really valuable, and I'm not saying this just to bring up the fact that I've got a school, is a community. I had the fortune of having closeness and the ability to talk with my dad, my teacher, other people that were close to us who I was aware of, who were spiritually minded. And now I've got this incredible community as well. And if you're struggling to find people to talk to about all of this, then being part of a community can also help. But I wanted to keep this video nice and short. I hope this helps. I could go into much more detail, but I'll leave it at that for now. Thank you, as always, for watching. But I promise you, if you reduce your desires for the world, you start to fill your attention more and more and more with spiritually minded thoughts and really sit in silence. That's the key. Sit in silence and ask questions, pray, meditate. All of this will make a huge difference. So best of luck. You will start to experience love if you do this, I promise you. But best of luck, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much.